Hi, welcome to another episode of Don't Quote Us. Today we're going to be going over the Umbella Academy series, which has just started on Netflix. My name's Jeremy.
I'm Steve.
I'm Chad. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out.
Yes, it does. All right, so what this is a series that just started airing, and I gotta say, I'm mystified by it. I love it. I love everything I've seen by it. Reminds me of Misfits, which was a British series, and it reminds me a little of Heroes.
Yes.
But I'm gonna actually let these two drive a little more because I am only about 3 episodes in. These two have flown through it and they love it.
I think that's an accurate way of describing it because I want to say Chad finished it before I did, and I think it took me 3 or 4 days after it launched, if I'm not mistaken. But I think you were done before that.
I think I was watching it all probably in about 2 days. Might have been into a third, but yeah.
And these are about an hour-long episodes each, and I believe
55 minutes. Yeah,
12 episodes
12
total,
episodes.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yep, standard Netflix run of shows and
Right.
everything like that.
So, the Umbella Academy is based off of an American comic book that came out, I believe, in 2007.
Yeah, relatively recent.
Yep, and it ran for 12 issues in just its initial run, and there were a couple add-ons to it afterwards. But it really was a very short, limited comic, and the actual show covers the entirety of the original comic.
Yep.
And they did a really nice job of it. I have to say, if you're a fan of Heroes, you're definitely going to love this show. And in the wake of the cancellation of all the Marvel series on this, this is definitely going to help kind of scratch some of that itch. Because this is definitely a superhero show. But it's done with some of the flair and panache of those J.J. Abrams series like Heroes and Lost, with those mysteries and those character developments. It's going to scratch a lot of itches.
It kind of has a Tarantino effect where, like, you know what happens at the end, and then you want to see how it develops a little bit.
And some of those combat sequences that we get in there has a definite Tarantino feel to it. Yes.
Very much so, very much. Not all of it, but that really, there are certain little things, but the series itself really has kind of pulled from different, director shows, so on and so forth. We're not going to get super in-depth, not at all into spoilers.
Yeah.
We're actually just going to talk about impressions, first episode mainly, and then the characters as well.
Yeah,
so.
we just want to give you an idea of if this is something that may suit you and you might find enjoyable. So it does start off with a reunion at after the father's death. They kind of all come together because their father has died. Not their natural fathers, but the fathers that adopted them.
We should say, there is going to be some minor spoilers for this first episode.
Yeah.
We can't really talk about the series without covering some of the stuff, the characters, and some of the scenes in that first episode.
Naturally.
We're not going to go into deeper detail of the grander overall plots of the series and spoilers for those things along, but there will be some spoilers in the first episode. But if you know anything about the series at all, this isn't going to be ruining much of anything.
No, more of an overview of characters and, like they said, the first episode. So if you're not sure you want to spend an hour, just hang out with us for a few minutes. We'll give you an idea what you can expect.
Yep.
So the characters on this, you're mainly dealing with 7 adults that are also 7 kids because we do jump back and forth between childhoods and current day.
The very first episode, very first scene of the series are basically, was it
1989. 43 women
spontaneously become pregnant and give birth in the same day.
And we mean spontaneously,
Literally.
like blowing up a helium balloon.
Yep.
Exactly.
Go from nothing to something.
And we have our sort of father figure character, Reginald Hargreaves, going around trying to get all of these babies.
Yep.
He manages to get 7.
7 of us, right. And we're going to kind of go over them, talk about each character a little bit. Like I said, sticking to what we see in the first episode.
Very basic.
And giving you an idea of what you can expect. It is a little bit X-Men-esque in the fact that we kind of have a setting of a mansion at, where they're all living and with these...
And it's called an academy. It's a school for gifted students.
Gifted children, yeah. All right, so I guess the first student is Luther. He's the first of the children.
Quote-unquote leader.
Correct.
Yep, and we see him...
He is number 1.
Yes.
We see him living on the moon.
We do.
And that's about really all we kind of find out is he's there and he does have an astronaut spacesuit. So he, I don't know if he could breathe in space. I don't think so.
No, he doesn't.
He has a
He has to
helmet
wear a
on and
spacesuit.
everything. So, and you see him watching the Earthrise, I guess.
But it's implied that he's been there for a long time since his garbage can is overflowing.
Yes, yeah. That or the garbage men are on strike, one of the two. Then we go on to Diego. Diego is number 2. And he's kind of almost like playing a Nightwing kind of thing, almost Batman-esque. Yeah, vigilante, great. Stopping some thieves in a house. Mm-hmm. And do we see anything else about Diego really in the first episode that you guys recall?
In that very first scene, no, we don't really see anything else at that point. We do see some scenes in the first episode that give us some information as to what Diego's powers are. We do see that with all of the characters that are on the team. They do show us what all of those characters are capable in one particular scene.
Yeah, some glimpses. And I think he's throwing knives around a lot in that first scene.
I would essentially bullseye if you're in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, Daredevil enemy. Yeah, from the... I think he was in the movie with Ben Affleck.
Correct.
He was in the Daredevil.
That is correct.
Third one is Allison. We see her on the red carpet. And she's some kind of celebrity of sorts.
Correct.
You know, I'm not sure what else we find out about her in the first episode.
Well, again, we see a glimpse of all of their powers for the most part in that first episode. So, again, going back into the actual the comic book, each one of those characters has a code title within the team. So Luther was actually called Space Boy. Diego was called the Kraken. Our third one, Allison, was called the Rumor, which ties into her power that you do see an example of in a flashback sequence in the first episode.
Right.
Correct.
Yep. Yeah.
Correct.
The Rumor. Yep. Good information.
Klaus, though, which is our number 4, he actually, we don't see his powers in the flashback sequence or his very initial introduction. We do see some stuff with his powers or the implications of it later in that first episode.
Yes, we do. And then you want to go on to 5?
Well, number 5 is actually, you're not going to see him physically. You'll actually see just a portrait. And if I'm not mistaken, in the actual episode, you can tell that there was some significance around him because he's the only one with a portrait above the fireplace.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Going on to number... Oh, go ahead. Did you have something else?
I do want to say that the actor who plays number 5, I think, is the standout of the entire series. He is an incredible actor, and honestly, in a lot of regards, I think he makes this series.
Oh, he is great. He is great. I will agree with that statement.
Pivotal role, and I'm not going to say anything other than that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, well, actually, I do want to say one thing on that, is that, you know, these young kids who can pull off this type of acting, like Haley Joel Osment way back in Sixth Sense, you know, you sometimes forget they're a kid, because you
you definitely do.
You definitely,
literally.
And he does a great job at that.
Yeah.
I just want to point that out. Ben is number 6, and he's dead.
In the modern time, Ben is dead. We see a statue of him in the courtyard.
Yep.
We do see him in the flashback. In the comic, he was referred to as the Horror. And of the people that were on the team, he was really sort of a reluctant member. He really didn't want to be doing this.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think he knew what his power was, and it was not...
Pretty, no.
Yeah, but it was flipping awesome to watch.
Yes.
Like, it really was. I mean, he is one character that you will stick around and you'll be asking questions about and asking questions about and asking questions about. Again, I don't think there's anything else to say because...
Nope.
He's dead.
I mean, that's it.
And then we have number 7, Vanya.
Yep. Vanya.
Quote-unquote ordinary.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep, and she's just playing the violin, and you kind of maybe wonder, does she have a power? She maybe control music or something? Nope, she's just ordinary.
Yep.
So, you know, let's go into more about what the series is about, you know, because... What is this? What are you watching for 12 hours, really, with these people? I kind of, my summary would just be character interaction and maybe saving the world, you know, like Heroes.
In the beginning.
Very much so.
I mean, very much so in the beginning on this, much like Heroes, you're just being introduced to characters, and you have no idea where everything is going. You know that they're all coming back. They were brought together and all adopted by this man, Reginald Hargreaves, this eccentric billionaire, who brought all of them together and raised them. And he's... a very cold and distant father figure to them, really showed them very little love and emotion. He didn't actually even give them names. He just referred to them by numbers.
By the number he acquired them.
And in fact, no, not even by that. Actually,
Really?
by according to the comics, they were numbered by his perceived importance to the team.
Wow. Okay, well, that explains Vanya being number 7 then.
Exactly.
Great point, Chad.
So that's actually how their numbers came. He numbered them based on his opinion of their usefulness. So he's really kind of a prick.
Literally.
but he is. So he was very much a very distant father figure to all of these children, and for most of them, there's a great sense of resentment to this man. Even coming back for his funeral, most of them are happy that he's dead.
Yeah, and they're just there to find out what they're getting, I think.
Oh yes, for their inheritance of this multi-billion-dollar estate. So yeah, it's quite interesting to watch that. And then within that, we get a pivotal scene that occurs that reintroduces a character that starts setting things in motion from there. We don't want to give things away because it's all expertly well done.
But they weren't alone with this bitter, cold man when they were children. They had a couple people.
They had two other figures in their life.
Figures, yes.
Yes, they had Pogo, who was an intelligent chimp. I would say so. Walks upright, speaks with a moderate British accent.
Wears a three-piece suit.
Incredibly intelligent. And Mom.
Yep. And we don't find out much more about Mom in the first episode.
Mom, who looks as old as she did when they showed her in the younger scenes with the kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's about all we'll say about Mom.
Yeah, for now.
But Mom is also an interesting character. But yes, they are sort of satellite tertiary characters that float around the scenes and do play into the storyline. They don't do a ton with them, but they're actually pretty important for those moments where they come in.
Yeah, in terms of what this whole series is about, it's not one of those series where episode 1, 2, 3, 4 sets it up. Episode 1 essentially sets everything up initially for you to the point where, okay, I'm hooked in, I'm watching, there's something going on here, it is definitely worthwhile. So I don't want to deter anybody from this series, but in all honesty, you either are going to be in it within the first episode, or it's just not going to hit with you. I would always say if you're kind of iffy on it, watch the second one, because then it kind of develops even more. But again, if you're even leery on it at the beginning, I wouldn't. But I mean, you got three very different individuals who really appreciate, for different reasons, this show.
Yep.
The characters in this show are either going to draw you in or they're not, because that's the core focus. The story is good, but it's those characters. This show is really about the characters. If you don't like the characters, you're not going to like the show.
Correct.
Now, moving on to something else that's great about the show, the music.
God,
here
the music.
we're going to be talking about maybe some music not in the first episode, but not going into real big spoilers. The music shouldn't spoil anything.
No.
But you get some music, and I know They Might Be Giants. I know we had Tiffany.
Yep.
What else did we have that you guys recall?
In the first episode, those were the two major ones that really come to mind. There's a lot of other ones that show up later in it. I know in one of the later episodes they use a Hazy Shade of Winter, which is just beautifully incorporated into it.
I haven't gotten there yet.
And there are some classical pieces that are brought in.
Yep.
Again, we said in the very first scene we see Vanya, she's playing the violin. So classical music in certain parts of it is brought in just expertly well done. And it's beautiful. The music is integral to those scenes and to how things are playing out, and they are set pieces just as much as the actual sets that they're on. The music is very much a part of that.
I would say in the same vein as like a Guardians of the Galaxy, where the music really
it's a character itself.
Yeah, it's a character itself, and music is an aspect, I think, of shows, movies that if it's great, it makes it that much greater.
Sure.
Definitely.
If it's okay, you're like, okay, deal. If it's not good, it may be something you don't necessarily focus on. You may not downgrade the movie, show because it's that bad.
Yeah.
But again, the music really does it. I put it this way. That Tiffany song, my brother watched the show first, and then I watched it second. He randomly started playing it, and we both started randomly dancing.
That's some great stuff.
That really is. But that's the genuine, real side of the music that they picked. And it, again, if you can kind of take that into the real world, and then, a show kind of makes your outside life, okay, I chuckled with my brother.
Right.
That makes everything that much better.
Yeah.
So
Gives you a memory.
Yeah.
But that Tiffany scene in the beginning, I thought was very important for what they did, because you already have all these characters that they've shown now having all these powers, and then they do this dance scene, and it humanizes each of those characters, because almost every single one of them's just a little bit silly in their dancing, and because it takes these superheroes and brings them around. He's dancing like a fool.
Yeah.
It's every one of them dances differently. Everyone
Alone.
has alone. Everybody has different powers, but there's one thing that unifies them. Not just music, but the Umbrella Academy itself, or whatever. They're a family.
They are
more or less.
family.
So
Highly dysfunctional, but they are family.
But I guess I want to also say because we saw that scene, it absolutely sets up that they're all different, but they're all there for a reason. So it's almost like it transcends a little bit. The music, the show. Again, I think that first episode might have been one of my favorite episodes to start off a series because it really does make everything very genuine. And that genuine carries on. It makes you want to watch more.
Oh, yes.
So, we just want to give you a little bit of an idea what you could expect. I highly suggest going and checking this out. Take an hour, see what you think. If you want to continue with it, it's going to be a great ride.
Yep.
We're probably going to come back and do a video once I've seen the rest of it.
Yes.
And kind of, going and doing a big spoiler video talking about what we thought, what else we may see in the future if it goes on. No.
I think that's definitely going to happen because Chad and I have had to stop ourselves several times and nope, can't say that.
So we'll do that.
And we can also talk more in depth about the differences between the actual Netflix show and the comics, which there are more than quite a few.
And he'll be great for that role on that. So I think that's where we'll end up leaving it. And as always, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Steve.
I'm Chad. Please remember to like and subscribe. And as always,
don't quote us.